Today's lesson is It's Not Easy Being Green. How to Shop Sustainably. Hi everybody, my name is Roger.
And my name is Helen.
And today we're going to talk about shopping sustainably, which means buying products that are good for the planet. And, of course, sometimes we refer to this as going green or being green, but as the title of our article today suggests, it's not easy being green. Sometimes we don't know if we're doing good or if we're not helping at all.
That's right. If we're not equipped with the right information, then it's difficult to make the right choices about our shopping, about what to buy, and which companies to support. So even though we have the good intention of being green, which means to do things to try to protect the environment, it's not always easy. So in this article, in today's lesson, we're going to talk about how to shop sustainably. And the word sustainably is an adverb, and it basically means how to use ways of shopping that don't harm the environment.
And, of course, they can continue to be used over and over, and they aren't wasted, and they don't cause pollution. So let's find out what this is all about. Let's listen to the first part of our lesson, and then we'll come right back to discuss it.
It's not easy being green. How to shop sustainably. There's a deep sense of satisfaction in knowing you're doing the right thing. This is why selecting a green product off the shelves can feel so good. But how do you know for sure the item is living up to its planet-friendly claims? In many cases, there isn't enough information provided for consumers to independently confirm the truth.
大家好，标题中我们看到单字 sustainably， 这个字是副词，指永续的、可持续或是不破坏环境的。例如 ，The new environmental policy helps us live sustainably。这项新的环境政策帮助我们永续生活。或是 The government aims to manage the forest sustainably。该政府致力于永续的管理森林。另外，将字尾的 ably 去掉，就变成了动词 sustain， 意思是维持。我们可以说 It was difficult for the company to sustain the growth it experienced in its first 5 years。对那间公司来说，要维持如同其头5年的成长是很难的。也可以说 Richard brought enough food to the cabin to sustain him for a month。Richard 带足了食物到小木屋，够他维生1个月。接下来我们看到名词 satisfaction， 指满足或是满意。例如 Albert gets great satisfaction from cooking。 Albert 从烹饪中获得极大的满足感。或是 This website has been improved to increase user satisfaction。 这个网站为了提升使用者满意度已有所改善。另外补充这个字的动词 satisfy。satisfy satisfy 意思是使满意或是满足，像是 Our restaurant service will satisfy every customer。 我们餐厅的服务会让每位顾客都满意。或者 The meal's portion wasn't big enough, so it didn't satisfy me。 那份餐点分量不够多，所以无法满足我。再补充这个字的形容词 satisfied。 satisfied satisfied 表示感到满意的。举例来说 The company was satisfied with the quality of Colleen's work。 公司对 Colleen 的工作品质感到满意。也可以说 The customers felt very satisfied with their meals when they left the restaurant。 客人离开餐厅时对餐点感到很满意。
So let's dive into today's lesson. The first line says, There's a deep sense of satisfaction in knowing you're doing the right thing. So that's a statement that's quite true. Most of us get a lot of satisfaction, which is the feeling of pleasure that you get when you're able to do something that you want. That's what satisfaction means. So we get a deep sense of satisfaction in knowing that we're doing the right thing, that we are doing things that's good for the planet, that's good for other people, that's contributing to the overall welfare of everything.
Right. So, of course, if you do the right thing, then you feel satisfied, you feel happy, you feel content, you have a sense of satisfaction. This is why selecting a green product off the shelves can feel so good. So, of course, if you want to do your part to make the world a better place and buy green products, well, you want to select or choose a green product off the shelves, and doing so can feel so good. Oh boy, I am really helping out the earth. I am saving the world for future generations. And of course, when you go into a supermarket or other store, you often buy a product that is off the shelf. In other words, it's on the shelf, and then you take it off the shelf to buy it. So you might check the ingredients on the label to see if there are eco-friendly ingredients used in the products or ingredients that do not harm the environment. So you look for those green products, and of course, sometimes you know it's a green product by looking at the label, but how do you know for sure the item is living up to its planet-friendly claims? So here we've got the phrase to live up to, which means it does what it says it's going to do. It fulfills its promise, or it keeps its promise. So, of course, if you are a person who says that you can do lots of things, well, you need to live up to your claims. You need to prove that you can do what you say you can do. Hey, I can run a marathon in less than 2 hours. Well, you need to live up to your claim. You need to prove it.
That's right. And a lot of parents have high standards, and their children have a hard time living up to their parents' standards. So they try very hard to study, to get good grades in order to live up to their parents' standards.
Exactly. So do these products do what they say they can do? Well, in many cases, there isn't enough information provided for consumers to independently confirm the truth. So, of course, in a lot of cases, a lot of times, we just don't have enough information, and that information is not provided for consumers. A consumer, of course, is someone who buys and uses a product or service. Basically, it's you and I. We are consumers out there. When we go to stores and buy things, we want to buy things that are eco-friendly or they are green products, but yeah, we don't have enough information. It's not provided for us to independently confirm the truth. So if we confirm it independently, we do our own research and we try to find information about the products, but a lot of times that information is just simply not available.
That's right, because just because on a product it says 100% organic, that information isn't going to allow us to independently confirm that that product is actually green because, of course, the company will state things to make consumers buy that product.
Indeed. We'll talk about some specific examples as our lesson continues. So let's move on now to the next part of our lesson, and we will listen first.
When packaging states that something is natural, clean, sustainable, or otherwise good for the environment, be on your guard. These are often meaningless buzzwords used in a common advertising tactic known as greenwashing. The practice is a way for companies to attract eco-conscious buyers without making any significant changes to their business practices.
So first, we're going to look at product packaging. When packaging states that something is natural, clean, sustainable, or otherwise good for the environment, be on your guard. So in other words, packaging refers to the boxes, the bottles, plastic, whatever that is used for wrapping products that are to be sold. So when packaging states that something is natural or has these words, natural, clean, sustainable, or otherwise, then you should be on your guard. To be on your guard means to be alert, to be careful about what's going to happen.
Indeed. So, of course, here in the sentence, we've got the word otherwise, which means in a different way or in a different regard. So basically, we're saying that these products could be natural, clean, or sustainable, or otherwise they would be good for the environment. They'll still be good for the environment. And that's basically what the package is telling us. So if you see that, if you see these choices, then you need to protect yourself. You need to be on guard or on your guard. You need to be ready to prepare yourself in case somebody's trying to trick you.
Right. So this word, otherwise, we might use it more often as meaning if not. Put your raincoat on, otherwise you might get wet because it's raining outside. So that's an example of the other meaning of otherwise. But in this case, as Roger had said, otherwise means in any other way. So an example of this usage could be people cannot eat, drink, chew gum, or otherwise consume things on the train.
Exactly, indeed. So again, we're talking about various claims that you might read on a package. And yes, it may state that the contents of the package are natural, that they are clean, that they are sustainable, or they're otherwise good for the environment. And if you see those things, you need to be on your guard. You need to watch out because they might be trying to trick you. These are often meaningless buzzwords used in a common advertising tactic known as greenwashing. Okay, so there's the theme of our article for today, greenwashing. We've heard other terms that use the word washing, like whitewashing, for example. But in this particular case, we're talking about greenwashing. And yes, these are buzzwords, which are words that are there to attract your attention. And a lot of times they just sound really cool. Oh, if they've got the word natural there, that must be good. If it's clean, if it's organic, if it's sustainable, oh, those are nice sounding words. Therefore, the product must be good.
That's right. And a lot of companies use these buzzwords as advertising tactics. So a tactic is a particular plan or a particular method for achieving something. So companies use this tactic in order to get consumers to buy things so that they can make money. And that's what greenwashing is. Greenwashing is a way of making consumers think that a particular product is green and good for the environment when in fact it may not be.
Yep, it's a common advertising tactic or a strategy, and it's known as greenwashing. The practice is a way for companies to attract eco-conscious buyers without making any significant changes to their business practices or simply not making any changes to the product itself. They just put these words on the product or in their advertising, and basically they don't really change anything else. So yes, these companies want to attract eco-conscious buyers. So, of course, we're bombarded with messages every day about how we're destroying the environment, how we need to protect the earth and stuff like that. So people get eco-conscious. They become aware of that. They want to participate in the solution to clean up the world and make it last for a long time. And so they attract those eco-conscious customers by using those buzzwords, but they don't really make any changes to their business practices, and they don't really change the products at all. So let's find out what this is more about by moving on to the final paragraph for today. We'll listen to it first.
Examples of greenwashing are everywhere. The tag on a shirt might say it's made of organic cotton without offering any proof. Another may portray organic cotton as superior without mentioning that it requires a huge amount of water to grow and produces less material than the non-organic crop. Yet another might say a piece of clothing is made of recycled material, leaving out the fact that it will release harmful microplastics into the water with each wash.
"最后第三部分，我们看到单字 portray， 这个字是动词，指描绘或是刻画，像是 The information portrayed on the monitor showed the technician that there was something wrong with the computer. 荧幕上呈现的资讯让技术人员知道电脑出了问题。 另外补充这个字的名词 portrait，P-O-R-T-R-A-I-T portrait， 意思是肖像或是画像。例如 The artist is known for painting vibrant portraits of famous people。 那位艺术家以绘制出活灵活现的名人肖像而闻名。或是 I asked the artist to paint a portrait of my dog。 我要求那名画家替我的狗画一张画像。
So we're going to look at some examples of greenwashing. Examples of greenwashing are everywhere. The tag on a shirt might say it's made of organic cotton without offering any proof. So something that is organic is produced using no artificial chemicals or methods, or they use only a small amount of artificial chemicals. So when a company claims that a shirt is made of organic cotton, we might think, oh, great, then that means there are no artificial chemicals and the environment wasn't harmed because pesticides weren't used to grow the cotton. But in fact, we don't really know if that's true. We only see the word organic, and we have to blindly trust the company that's selling the t-shirt.
It might say it's made from organic cotton, which means it contains some organic cotton, but they don't tell us exactly how much organic cotton is included. It could be just one or two threads in there, 0.01%, and they could get away with saying it's made with organic cotton, even though it's a low percentage. And again, they don't really offer us any proof there. And another may portray organic cotton as superior without mentioning that it requires a huge amount of water to grow and produces less material than the non-organic crop. So this is another strategy they use, or another tag on a shirt. That tag may portray organic cotton as being superior to other products. Here we've got the word portray, which means it demonstrates or shows us this thing. So it basically tells us that organic cotton is superior to standard grown cotton. If something's superior, it's better than something else. And so they'll say, yes, organic cotton is superior, but they don't really tell us exactly why it's superior. In fact, if you want to produce organic cotton, you need to have a huge amount of water to grow it. And therefore, that produces less material than if you use the standard non-organic crop, which uses fertilizers and stuff like that. If you did some research, you might discover that organic cotton might actually be more harmful than non-organic cotton.
Right. And going back to the word superior, which Roger mentioned, describes something that was better than something else, I could use the word superior in the following sentence. The company's technology is superior to that of any other company in the country.
Exactly. Superior there. So yes, indeed, they may say that the product is superior, but they forget to mention that it requires lots of water to grow. Yet another tag or a tactic might say a piece of clothing is made of recycled material, leaving out the fact that it will release harmful microplastics into the water with each wash. So if something's recycled, we need to know exactly what it's recycled from. It might be recycled plastic. And if it's made from recycled plastic, well, the plastic could still break off from the product and it would become microplastics, which means very, very tiny pieces of plastic, and they might go into the ecosystem and fish might swallow them. And you hear reports all the time of scientists checking out fish that they catch from the ocean, and there's lots of microplastic inside those fish. So indeed, that's a fact that they might just leave out. I guess they're not required to include that information. All they need to say is that it's made with recycled materials, and that sounds good to consumers.
Right, and the phrasal verb leave out means precisely to omit or to not mention something. So, for instance, if you're giving a report in a company at a meeting, you don't want to leave out any important information. You want your listeners to get all the information that's important, so you don't want to leave that information out.
Right, so somebody may be trying to convince you to invest in Bitcoin or something like that, and you'll think, oh, that's a great idea. I can make a lot of money, but they leave out the fact that those cryptocurrencies use lots and lots of energy. They use lots and lots of power, which could damage the environment as well. That's just information they don't want you to know about, so they leave that information out. They omit that information. Okay, so this, of course, happens with cotton. If they say it's organic, they forget to mention that it requires lots of water to produce, maybe lots of land as well. And the same thing could happen with recycled materials.
Right. So we really have to be careful of these buzzwords, because one of the problems is that as soon as we hear the word organic or recycled, we automatically think that it's good. But these buzzwords also point to methods and facts that aren't really good for the environment, because there are always two sides to every argument, right? To everything that is done in the world.
Right. We may think solar panels are good for the world, but they actually require lots of energy and lots of water to manufacture. That's something else to think about as well. Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Let's turn things over now to Hanny, our beloved green-friendly Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。课文一开始写到，知道自己在做对的事时，会有一股深深的满足感。那文中它是用到 a deep sense of satisfaction 去表达一股深深的满足感。好，当我们用 a sense of 加上名词，就可以表达什么什么感。像我们说 a sense of direction 方向感， a sense of humor 幽默感， a sense of loss 失落感， a sense of fulfillment 成就感等等。举例来说， She has a terrible sense of direction 她的方向感很差。好，再来看到课文下一句，他写说 This is why selecting a green product off the shelves can feel so good. 这就是为什么从货架上选择环保产品能让你感觉很好。那这边用到的句型是 This is why 主词加上动词去表达说这就是为什么怎么样，这就是什么什么的原因。那么 why 以及其他 WH 疑问词像是 what、Who, when, where 等等，它们可以引导名词子句，然后在句中是当主词、受词或者是主词补语用。像我们文中这个 Why selecting a green product off the shelves can feel so good 这个部分就是用 why 去引导的名词子句，然后在句中是当主词补语用，用来补充说明主词的内容。好，那当我们使用 WH 疑问词引导名词子句去当主词补语的话，常见的用法是主词加上 be 动词，再加上 why 或是 where 或者是 how， 再加主词加动词去表达什么什么就是什么的原因，就是什么的地点，或是就是什么的方式。那我们来造3个例句哦。This is where we used to live. 这就是我们以前住的地方。That's how they met. 那就是他们相遇的方式。This is why I didn't go to the dance party. 这就是我没有去参加舞会的原因。好，那我们接着看到文中它有用到 off the shelf， 这是指说用来描述商品它是现成的、现货供应的。shelf 当名词呢，它可以指货架。那么 off the shelf 是描述一样商品它已经出现在货架上嘛，那就是现成的，并非客制的，你就不用特别去定制预定。举例来说 He went into the shop and bought a suit off the shelf. 他走进那间店里面买了一套现成的西装。那补充一下哦，如果是 on the shelf 则是表达被搁置的、无人过问的。Put something on the shelf 则是表达说将某事搁置在一旁。我们补充2个意思差不多的片语哦。你也可以用 put something on hold 去表达说将某事物暂时搁置或者是延期。还有呢 Put something on the back burner. 这个 burner 指的就是煮菜的炉子。西式厨房的那个炉台上啊，通常就会有前后各2个炉口，然后在烹饪的时候呢，比较容易煮的、比较快好的呢，那个食物就会摆在前面的炉子上，通常会摆在前面的炉子上啦。那有一些你可能是要慢慢煮，要煮比较久的东西，就会摆在后面的炉子。因此呢 ，put something on the back burner 引申的意思就是暂缓处理、暂时搁置。好，那我们来造个例句。假设我们说 ，Many of us have put our vacation plans on hold because of the pandemic。就是说，因为疫情的关系啊，我们有许多人已经把旅游计划给暂缓的、暂时搁置了。好，那以上是今天重点整理，我们来回顾今天的单字吧。
Sustainably. This website can help you live more sustainably by telling you what products to avoid. Satisfaction. Many people believe that job satisfaction is more important than a great salary. Consumer. As online shopping becomes more popular, fewer consumers are visiting downtown stores. Tactic. As the team began to lose the match, the players decided to try a different tactic. Portray. The biography attempted to portray the former president as a kind and humble man. Superior. This smartphone is considered to be superior to all the others on the market.
Well, everyone, today's article has come to an end, and I sure hope you enjoyed reading along with us. I am Roger.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.